Hello besties and explorers, welcome to Glkenside at Lunatic Asylum. No, I'm not here to check myself in, and I'm yet to be made certifiable. I'm actually here to explore a very unique facility that led the way for some inhumane treatment of society's most vulnerable people under the whitewashed guise of advanced technological treatment of mental health conditions. Glkenside Hospital began as the Parkside Lunatic Asylum in 1870, southeast of Adelaide City. South Australia's first public colonial lunatic asylum, not much more than a cottage, was set up in 1846 at the Parkside site to take mentally ill patients who'd been segregated at Adelaide Jail. It operated until 1852 when Adelaide Lunatic Asylum opened between the eastern end of the Adelaide Hospital on North Terrace, Adelaide City, and what became eventually the Botanic Gardens. The Adelaide Lunatic Asylum continued until 1902. The Parkside Asylum opened at a period of some mental health enlightenment. Patients were no longer chained up or put into baths to be cleansed by the devil. It became home for Adelaide's chronic mental health patients, but above and beyond that, it housed those nearing death, suffering undiagnosed conditions, unmarried mothers and prostitutes. Syphilis-related dementia provided up to 27 of patients in the early days right through to the 1900s. Initially, 50 men from the Adelaide Lunatic Asylum were transferred to Parkside, but by the late 1880s it also accommodated women and children. Parkside Asylum also held people with intellectual disabilities and medical conditions such as epilepsy. In 1898, the government's Minder Home for Weak-Minded Children was opened at Fullerton, south of the city, and some children from the asylums at Adelaide and Parkside were transferred to the new facility. The Parkside Lunatic Asylum, renamed the Parkside Mental Hospital in 1913, had a population of 1,157 in 1915. It peaked in 1958 at 1,769. The Register newspaper in 1910 reported that approximately one-third of those admitted to the asylum would die on premises. A large number were said to have died of old age. By the late 1950s, as breakthroughs in modern drug treatment began to show results, patient numbers in the asylum slowly began to fall. In 1962, the separation of sexes was removed and males and females were allowed to mix freely. Since the 1970s, with the falling numbers, with more humane methods of treatment, parcels of land were sold off and only a small amount of the sandstone Victorian Gothic structures remain, housing health services, Arts SA and the Adelaide Film Industry student accommodation. Renamed Glkenside Mental Hospital in 1967, it later became known as Glkenside Health Services, or just simply Glkenside. Welcome to Erindale Ward, also known as E Ward, and it was used as a secure ward to hold the obstinate, disobedient, or those referred to by staff as treatment-resistant male patients who were often very violent. Essentially, this ward was a step down from Z Ward, which was a high security prison-like building that housed the criminally insane. Okay, well, the camera's straight anyway. Okay, this is the foyer of a ward of a mental institution here in Adelaide. We are on the ground floor, so I might as well start on the ground floor, and I'm going to have to turn my light on. Okay, and there's my, don't know if it's going to be any better. So, just going to check through all the bottom floor. Bathroom down that way. And through here we've got some of the downstairs rooms, some of the stalls with lots of bits and pieces inside them. It's the bathroom there. Okay. Right. Just a fun fact that Z Ward was actually known as L Ward. Unfortunately, when the staff answered the phone, it would sound like Hell Ward, so they quickly changed the name from L to Z. If Asylum Walls Could Speak by Sandy Williams has great accounts of what day-to-day life was like there. One of the stories recounts a lazy nurse who discovered a dead patient in one of their cells and couldn't be bothered wheeling the dead body all the way to the morgue on the two-wheel cart. This nurse proceeded to shove the corpse into the side car of their motorbike and drive down the road. Once they reached the morgue, they realised they had lost their passenger along the way. Another account recalled how two nurses became complacent doing the rounds and checking the patients during their night shift and decided to have a 4-hour nap. When they woke up and did the rounds, they discovered a patient had hung themselves. In fear of losing their jobs, the nurses devised a plan to warm the body up before rigor mortis set in. Both nurses took the body and placed it in a hot bath to soften it up. But their efforts were in vain. A doctor caught them and said, "Don't bother giving the body a warm bath. It's been tried. It doesn't work." No, it wouldn't be. I was going to say it could be the old asylum library, but I doubt it. Up the stairs is pigeon shit everywhere. Take a look at that. Now, covered in there. Check out that old door. I wonder where that's from. And oxygen. Must have provided, oh, I don't know what's up there. They must have provided some kind of medical, a little bit of medical treatment here in this particular wing. Oh, have a look at that old heater. Penrite, I've never heard of Penrite, but that is old school. Fan. Office equipment, what have we got here? That is Big Pond Adelaide Film Festival. Okay, it would have been an old cellar. An old, not cellar, what do you call them? An old cell down here. We must have the bathrooms. Now, I'm pretty sure, yep, this was the men's ward. I can tell by the urinals. And here are the showers. The bathroom. Jeez, it's very austere, isn't it? And where does this go? That goes back around into here. Oh, there's a little nook where all the pipes and stuff go. And this looks like it might have been, oh, who knows, it could have been a bath. Does that look like it might have held a bath or something? Don't know. I need a pee anyway. Old fire hose reel. I've heard some pretty strange stories about what happened in places like this. 48G1, main isolator vaults, fire training centre. Now, goodness knows what that was for. And see what's down this side. Oh, okay. Right. Another exit. Oh, that goes upstairs. Now, I saw a passageway that went to another part of the building, so let's go back down and see if we can see where the passageway is. See what's on the other end. So this is it. This is the passageway. And what's down this end? This must be a foyer. Oh yeah, this is a little foyer area. Gallery. Old overhead projector. Oh, I remember one of those at school. If you saw an overhead projector, you knew you were in for something a little bit different and maybe a little bit exciting. There's an old hospital bed. Okay, this is the home for pigeons now. Boo! Okay. Boogie. Now. There's a bathroom. It's all flooded, so I'm not going in there. But, wow, check this out. Imagine being cooped up in here. They've obviously changed the locks. There's no way those locks would have been. Old drink fountain. I don't think anybody would be wanting a drink from this fountain and a cup holder. So it's just 2 stories, folks. This one side has cells. These would have been the names of the people in the cells. These haven't got locks on them. Well, once you get in, you can't get out. Oh dear, oh dear. What a statement. Because that was true. I remember doing a tour at the Arrowdale Lunatic Asylum. And apparently, to commit someone, all you need was 2 signatures. To have someone released, you required 7 signatures. Which doesn't really make a lot of sense, does it? Cracked window. Let's see what they would... Now, obviously, they wouldn't be looking out onto housing. That is one of the entrances there. You can see not a ha-ha wall, but there's definitely a wall there. As it turns out, that was a ha-ha wall. It just had been filled in. The name ha-ha wall was thought to be derived from a story that prisoners would always boast they could quickly escape the short wall from the outside. Once they stepped inside, however, with fallen smiles, the guards would reply, ha ha. I don't know if that's true or not, but maybe it is, maybe it's not. Overcrowding became the norm, with the hallways used as wards and single beds replaced with up to 4-person bunks. Right, go up these stairs. Obviously this was here to stop people from jumping off the stairs and committing suicide. I thought this was only 2 stories, but it must be 3. Oh. Let's see what's up here. Right, okay. Oh, check that out. I tripped on that. Oh. There's 1871. Chloral hydrate had been used extensively and was found to be helpful controlling the restlessness of general paralysis and senile dementia. 1929, malaria treatment was introduced, infecting patients with a controlled form of the disease. 1930, arsenic treatment was used to try and curb the influx of syphilis-derived dementia. In 1938, introduction trials of insulin shock treatment, which placed the person in a diabetic coma. Cortisol injections were also administered. This practice was known as convulsion therapy. 1941, electroconvulsive shock treatment, or ECT, began, with Parkside the first to introduce the procedure to Australia. 1945, patients were put under the knife, with the first psychosurgery procedure completed at Parkside. 1950s, breakthroughs in modern drug treatments began to show promising results, and patient numbers in the asylum slowly began to fall. In 1962, the separation of sexes was removed and males and females were allowed to mix freely. By the mid-1970s, with progressions in treatment and falling patient numbers, the original site was subdivided and parcels of land were sold off and eventually closed. Right, I think we're done.
I think we are. Yeah.
I think we're done.
Oh, Megan's just.
What's wrong?
Hello, Megan. Hello. Oh shit, that's the security guard. Alright.
Okay.
Okay, turn the lights off. Alright, okay, no worries. Alright. Okay, alright. Let's get out of here.
Okay, there's a security guard. I might have to turn you off.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, I've got to say goodnight. And, I shall. Okay, I'm going to say goodnight. And, I'll catch you next time. I might keep you updated when we get back into the car.